Hello, fellow certified medical examiners. Dr. Nuesse back again with another video, and this one is specifically for you, my fellow CMEs. And in this one, I want to give you 3 things that you can do starting today to really boost and build your DOT physical business. These are 3 actionable things that you can do starting right now that are free, and these are techniques and things that I've been doing in my practice for years and continue to do up to this day, and I've gone basically from 0 to the highest reviewed certified medical examiner in the 3 states that I serve, and I'm the #1 ranked certified medical examiner on Google in the state, even though I am competing with huge national chains like Concentra and Little Clinic. So I'm doing this video because since I've been doing videos here on YouTube, I'm constantly getting emails from other certified medical examiners on how to see more drivers, how to do more exams, and ultimately how to make more revenue. So for the past year, I have been working with certified medical examiners on a one-on-one basis via Zoom, teaching them all of the techniques I use to this day to dominate my market. And you can find out more about how to connect with me directly in the description below. But in this one, I want to give you 3 free and simple things that you can do immediately to boost your business and your revenue. And remember, if you build a solid DOT physical business, it can be one of the easiest ways to practice. Remember, drivers have to have this done, and there is no insurance involved. It is all cash. All right, so the first thing that we need to do to have a good marketing strategy of any kind is we need to know how the customer is going to find you and why they will choose to use you as opposed to their competitors. So first, let's find out how the drivers are going to find your practice. Number 1 is they're going to find you right off of the Department of Transportation website. Number 2 is they will just do a Google search and they will find you by typing in DOT physicals near me or DOT physicals in your city, and you will either pop up or potentially you won't pop up on their Google search, and they will find you that way. And 3 is through a referral. Maybe another driver has seen you and they have referred another driver to you, or maybe you work with that business and the business will refer their drivers to you. Now, you cannot control the Department of Transportation website. This is basically a free search engine that the Department of Transportation, the FMCSA, gives you. So everybody that is a certified medical examiner is going to be listed on that website. The 2 that you can control are Google search, and we're going to talk a little bit about that, and the referrals. You can control those 2. All right, and next let's talk about why is a driver going to choose your office over one of your competitors. And really it comes down to 5 things. So number 1 is going to be cost. Drivers are going to be concerned with how much they have to pay for their exam and how much you charge relative to your competitors. Number 2, again, is referrals. Either they were referred by somebody that you have seen in the past that had good service, or they were referred to by a particular business that you have a relationship with. That's very important as well. Number 3 is they might be a repeat driver, a repeat patient. So maybe you've seen them in the past. Again, they appreciated your service and they're coming back to get their DOT physical done. Number 4 is location. And number 5 is your schedule availability. All right, and of these, you can certainly control cost, you can certainly control the amount of referrals that you're getting and repeat patients, and definitely you can control your schedule availability. Now, your location is your location, although there is a way for you to go out and basically travel to different companies and do DOT physicals on site for their drivers. Again, another technique that I teach during my one-on-ones with certified medical examiners. So those are all of the things that you have under your control. All right, so now that we've identified what our potential customers are looking for, let's talk about specific techniques to get them to utilize your service. And before we talk about the techniques specifically, I have to preface this by saying that these techniques that I'm going to show you have to be followed step by step 100% in order to work. The devil is in the details. The minutia is important. If followed 90%, you're not going to get 90% of the results. You might only get 50% 80% results. If you only follow these techniques and what I'm going to show you 80%, you might get 0 results. And this is where a lot of the frustration comes in with people trying to follow marketing techniques, is they're not following them to the letter. So this is very, very important. All right, and the first thing that you can do, and the simplest thing that you can do, is provide excellent service to every single driver that walks in your front door. Now, I know this sounds obvious, and I'm sure all of you are already providing excellent service, but what I am talking is going 2 or 3 levels above that, going above and beyond, really VIP level service. And we're constantly hearing feedback from drivers saying that they are just not used to being treated so well by certified medical examiners when they're getting their DOT physicals done at other locations. So the fact of the matter is, they are being forced to have this done. They are not choosing to have this service provided to them. They need to keep their job. So because of this, we have heard stories from drivers saying that they've gone to another provider and they've been treated just like a number, or they feel like they're in a mill. And when they come to our office, they're being treated so well. And that will lead to more repeat business and more referrals. And it will also lead to them helping your business out. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So here is exactly what you do. All right, so the first thing that needs to happen is when a driver walks in your front door, that front desk person needs to have a big smile on their face, and they need to use the driver's name. So human beings, they make a connection when they hear their own name. It's a comfort to them. Human beings like to hear their own name. They like to hear the sound of their name being said by someone else. So if a driver is walking in and you've never recognized this person before, and you've got somebody on the books for a DOT physical, you can make a pretty educated guess that that is them. So please welcome them by name. Very, very important. All right, and then very next thing that you're going to do is you're going to get a bottle of water in the driver's hand. Now, this does not mean that you're offering them a bottle of water. You don't say, would you like a bottle of water? You're going to assume that they're going to take a bottle of water. So you're not going to give them a yes or no option. You're going to say, would you prefer a bottle of cold or room temperature water? You're going to assume that they are going to take it. This is the law of reciprocation. Again, you want to give them something and them feel kind of like they owe you a favor back, because again, you're going to be asking them to help you out, again, in a technique that I'm going to talk about later on. All right, and next, your front desk person is not just going to hand them a clipboard and say, go fill out the paperwork. You want them to actually walk around the front desk, remove that barrier between him or her and the driver to make more of that personal connection. Take the paperwork, sit down next to them in the waiting room, and explain to them in detail how to fill out the intake paperwork. And then finally, once you walk into the room to start the physical, you want to leave all of your BS, personal or professional, at the door. You want to be upbeat, you want to be energetic, you want to try to make that connection, because again, you're going to be asking for a favor here in a little bit once they have completed their DOT physical. So just by doing this, you can easily build a 6-figure DOT physical business. But unfortunately, this isn't going to help you bring drivers into your practice. So let's talk about actually how to get people to walk in your front door next. All right, so next, let's talk about pricing. How are you going to set your fees? The number one thing that you can do to get more drivers to utilize your service is to be extremely competitively priced. And this is a polite way of saying that you have to be cheap, at least in the beginning. The fact of the matter is, whether you think that doing a DOT physical is worth X, Y, or Z, you are a newer business, you have to be competitive in order to lure drivers from other practices to your practice. So you want to be extremely competitively priced. So the easiest thing that you can do is to go onto the FMCSA's provider website and find providers in your area and start calling them and just act like you're a driver and say, how much is a DOT physical? Now, what you're going to want to do is set your fees as low as you possibly can. So the lowest that you can find in your area, at least be that low. So in our area, for example, the lowest DOT physical I can find is $85, and that's exactly what we charge, because you're going to have drivers picking up the phone, calling your office, finding you on the DOT physical website, and just asking how much do you charge. And if you're the cheapest and you're close and you're available at the time that they want to come in, they're probably going to choose you. Now, you can certainly incrementally over time, as your practice builds, raise your fees, but in the beginning you want to be extremely competitively priced. So let go of your ego, find out what the market is telling you as far as what these physicals should cost, and be very competitive with your pricing in the beginning. This is going to bring a lot of business your way. All right, and next, let's talk about the biggie. How do you rank higher in Google search? And to be honest, this is probably where I see about 50% of my new business come from, so a very powerful tool. Now, I'm going to give you one gem today, but I have plenty of other really powerful practice building techniques, along with all of the forms we use to track and monitor progress, email follow-up forms, and it's all available on the one-on-one practice building Zoom bootcamp that I teach to clients. So if you're really serious about turbocharging your practice and injecting some cash into your business, please check out the description to see how you can connect with me directly to take your DOT practice to the next level. All right, so how do you rank higher in Google? So the first thing you need to do is you need to collect information off of every driver that walks in the front door. So you're going to have your own internal document separate from the intake paperwork that the Department of Transportation requires, and you're going to have every driver fill it out from the beginning. And you're going to collect their email address, you're going to collect their employer, and you're going to find out how they found you. And again, we have these documents already made up. And you're going to have every driver fill out this form in addition to their regular intake forms. All right, so once you have this information, it can be used for a number of different marketing techniques, but in this one, let's talk specifically about Google. So what you're going to do is, after you've completed the driver's exam, and this is very important, you don't want to ask them for any favors during the exam. You want to tell them that they have passed the exam first. And again, you only want to do this for drivers that have passed the exam. So what you're going to do is, once you tell them how long they are certified and what to do with their certification, etc., you want to tell them you're going to send them a very important email. This email is going to have all the instructions on it, and it also serves as verification that they have passed their exam. So if you tell them that you're going to send them a very important email, it will trigger them to then give you their email if they did not at first, because again, some people just leave that email section blank. So everyone then will give you their email address. So at this point, you're going to say, and it's very important how you phrase this, you're going to say, I'd like to ask you for a favor. You want to phrase it as that you're asking them to do you a favor. Again, you just did something for them. You helped them keep their job. Hopefully they like you and your staff, so they'll want to, again, reciprocate doing a favor for you. So say, I would like to ask you for one favor, and that favor is, on this email that we're going to send you, it also has a link to our Google website, our Google business address. Could you please just take 1 minute, click on that link, and just leave us a quick review? It really helps us out as a small business. If you phrase it exactly like that, and again, you've given good service up to this point and the driver has passed their exam, in my experience, you're going to get about 50% of those drivers giving you positive reviews, and Google absolutely loves this. This is the #1 thing you can do on Google to get your Google listing to raise in the search results. All right, so I hope this was very helpful. If it was, please hit that thumbs up button, and I hope to talk to some of you very soon if you're really ready to take that next step in building your DOT physical practice. All right, everyone, take care.